Starting?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good morning.
Pure unscripted. No discussion of what we're going to talk about today.
Scoot up for just a sec. I'll be right back. Fill up my coffee. Yeah, it's week 6, isn't it?
Yeah, week 6. And Seahawks are playing the Raiders
They are playing the Raiders.
in Wembley Stadium.
That's why I got English muffins.
Oh, shit.
Extra crisp.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, we'll have to put these in the old, what do you call it? Toaster. I like the extra crisp.
So,
Seahawks playing the Raiders today?
yeah, you know what I'm most excited about today?
What's that?
Seeing Marshawn Lynch run against the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
A lot of pulling for the Raiders, man. They fucking- yeah. Sorry, they have having a rough ass season.
That's the reason why we're just going to drive them straight into the ground even more.
I don't know. I forgot about Marshawn. I might have to change my thought. And Seahawks might lose today.
He might be running angry, but at the same time, the Raiders last week had the ball on the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
And they passed it.
And they passed it. And it got picked off.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
I made a statement about that, too.
Yep, of course.
What did he say?
Basically, like, referencing the Super Bowl game. It was like, last time we did it on the biggest stage and we lost, and you see what happened today, but whatever.
Yeah, I think I did see that quote.
So it'll be a fun game, though. I think Seattle wins by 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was going with Bill Burr's pick this week. He said Seahawks by 3.
Mm.
I'm going to go Seahawks by 3. They lose by 3.
Oh, yeah. Tie game, and then the kicker for the Raiders wins it.
Either that or we tried to kick to tie it up and miss it.
Who was the guy that was shaking them, like, all, was it last week?
Our kicker?
Nah, it wasn't.
Oh,
Mason
yeah.
Crosby for the Packers.
Yeah.
0 for 4 and missed an extra point as well.
No, that was just miserable.
And at the end of the game, he had one last chance to make a field goal, and he did.
And he won it.
No, they lost.
He missed it.
No,
But
the team lost.
Oh.
But at the end of the game, when the game was already decided, they gave him another chance to make one, and he did.
Oh, good.
When there was nothing on the line, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He deserves a chance.
It was a moral victory.
I cut him off my fantasy squad. But, yeah, should be fun.
So local news, they decided, it was kind of interesting, they had that, they were talking about maybe putting a park in downtown where they just opened up 4th Street, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 4th?
They just put a bunch of condos on 4th.
No, it's not the 4th that I'm thinking of, it's Park. So Park in Burwell, you know, Park in Burwell, they had the shipyard gate there, and
Yeah.
they had it
Oh,
blocked
yeah.
off forever because they were working the tunnel,
Yeah.
and they just reopened it like 3 weeks ago, and then the mayor proposes shutting it down to make it a park. Oh my God. I mean, the timing is horrible because it's just like finally that congestion is opened up.
Yeah.
And then he proposes a park, and the comments are just filled with
Is it-
flipping critics.
Is it because the Jimmy John's and the movie theater's right there? So people are just they want people to lounge right there? Like eat their Jimmy John's
That's
outside?
what I'm thinking. He wants to make some little park right there. I thought it was kind of weird because it's like if you live in those places down there, go down to the waterfront.
Yeah. The waterfront or Evergreen's not very far from
No.
there.
No. And just the responses were just overwhelming. And he posted, it's clear that everybody wants to keep it open. He's like, but I thank you for the feedback. This is the way, blah, blah, blah.
Fuck off,
So-
mayor.
So yeah, people were like, okay, now that you're being responsive to people's input, how about you open up those streets that you guys shut down a few years ago? You know, that one way out of Washington Avenue to make that sidewalk so they can get two wheelchairs to be able to cross in the night, you know. That was the whole reason why they made these sidewalks 10 feet
I
wide.
saw that. That's crazy.
So that the wheelchairs, just in case there's 2 of them, happen to
Yeah.
be passing at the
And
same
then they're
time.
not stuck.
But they won't be stuck.
Was there like a freaking like a lawsuit or like some controversy behind it or something?
Well, they
Like-
were standing up to the. No, they weren't standing up to.
Figuratively.
They were standing up to the bad sidewalks for wheelchairs.
The city probably had to spend money or else they were going to lose it.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's all over the country, actually. Seattle really took a huge bite because the federal government they're wanting everybody to go to bicycles. And so they give you a huge amount of money from the federal government, and what politician's going to turn down money? So they take the money and use it for these projects and pisses off everybody except for the bikers who, are fair weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Seattle is just a cluster, man. It's so bad, the traffic there. It's incredible. I just drove through it the other day, and it's like, wow, it's changed a lot.
Yeah. So that's funny. Any other local news?
Statewide news, I think it's interesting that the 9-0, the state Supreme Court overturned the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's been a heated discussion.
They say the way that they're doing it right now is not right, and that there's a chance they'll bring it back, but it's going to have to be changed.
9-0, it ain't coming back.
The way they're killing people isn't
Grizzly
right.
doesn't. Yeah. No. Like they said it's racist somehow or unconstitutional.
It was definitely all 9. I mean, it's rare that you get 9 people to decide on something, and they all said it was because of it was clear that there was a racial bias to it. It was more often than not people convicted of the same kind of crimes. If you're black, you're getting a death penalty. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they overturned it, and all the people are pissed off about it. Nobody's getting justice. And then the other argument people make is, and then it's going to cost us, three hots and a cot and TV for the rest of their life. And it's like, that's cheaper than their appeals process to start with. And if you're going to bitch about money, then let all the nonviolent criminals go.
Right.
Then you won't have the money problem.
Yeah.
To me, it's clear. And I don't feel like the government should be killing people, just in general. As a rule of thumb, we shouldn't have a group of white men basically on some board somewhere saying, dead. Not dead. Dead.
Well,
Dead.
Especially with all this DNA stuff and all the...
You're black, you're definitely dead.
And the obvious Black Lives Matters movement against the discrimination of colored people and by the police and, there's too much evidence to say that it's not happening.
And the counter argument is the guy who had his wife and 2 children murdered. It was premeditated, in cold blood. And now that guy that's locked up currently who was going to get put to death is now not. And now that dad who lost his kids and his wife is pissed.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
No?
They should be grandfathered in, don't you think?
No.
Also, the other counter argument, I think, is from that Riker...
Well, don't I get to say why no?
No. Let me just say this real quick. That Riker sheriff guy, I think is his name, he said that the only reason why they were able to even get Gary Ridgway to recover all those bodies is because he wanted to save his own flesh.
Yeah,
and not be killed from the death penalty. So if you take that out, you're unable to have any leverage over trying to get bodies recovered from people that do these things as a deterrent to use the death penalty against them.
Yeah, I think you can find other ways to motivate them to talk. Just because you don't kill them, you can put them in solitude.
Nothing's going to be as solid as staying alive.
I don't know. Some people would rather be dead than be in solitary. Or
so, torture them?
That is a form of torture, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, it's not waterboarding, but...
Solitude confinement is definitely torture.
I don't think it's deemed that by the
There's regulations.
Yeah. There's not physically bodily harming them, you know what I'm saying?
But no one's also monitoring these people either, so...
Yeah, I think that's one way you can get them to fess up on stuff. But, even still, I think that it outweighs the fact that they get it wrong so often, too, and that you just see these cases that have been 20 years old, and they're like, oh, well, we didn't know about this, we didn't know about that. And shit, any one of us that dealt with the government before, it's like, oh my God, how can you be this stupid, and your rights are just...
I don't know, man. I think I'm for the death penalty.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I just think about these people that do horrible things, and then just to have them be on life without parole, and be alive until they're 80 or 90 years old, and then they die, and they make some kind of happy life out of that because they have no choice, versus their day is coming, and there's a countdown to that day. And on that day, they're going to have to pay for their actions, and they're going to get walked down there, and they're going to have to be executed. Well, I want them to feel that.
There's 3 things, and you're talking about definitely not restorative justice, but restorative justice.
And accountability in a sense.
But yeah, what is prison for in the first place? Is it for punishment, or is it for rehabilitation, or is it just the third thing is to isolate them from the society? So you're saying definitely punishment for those guys. Death row, I would say, there's no reason to correct them, so they don't need college and then they're not coming back to society, and I'm happy with that, and I'm happy to pay for that. Like I said, here's the thing that I'm different about with a lot of death penalty stuff is because I haven't had it happen to me, fortunately, but if somebody took someone's life that was close to me, I don't feel like I would feel any better if I got that person back. It just doesn't, somebody wrecked into my car, I don't think I'd feel better if I wrecked into their car.
Yeah.
My car would still be damaged.
Just go crash through your yard and fence.
Yeah.
See, some things I think about too, like, I don't know, I try to be rational and shit, but like, I won't say I'm vengeful, but I kind of felt like if somebody raped one of my family members, or freaking killed one of my family members, I probably want the motherfucker to die. I probably want to kill him myself.
Yeah.
But that's, I guess it's kind of think like with emotion or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You have to keep emotion out of it for sure when it comes to the death penalty.
yeah. So, I don't know, it's kind of...
But like if someone did something to one of my kids, like I would enjoy if I had the opportunity to handle myself, had that option, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
You let him free. Let him go. I'll take care of him. Don't worry. Might take a couple of years, but I'll get him.
Yeah.
All right. Other local news. Last night.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No.
Last night there was a comedy contest, comedy show
Oh, I heard about
contest
that. Yeah.
at the what do you call it?
Mason
Temple on Wheaton Way and 5th. And I saw the flyer a month ago or so, and it said email to sign up, and there was no time on the flyer. And someone sent me the flyer and said, "Can you post this?" And I said, "Sure, but what's the time of the show?" And they're like, 8 o'clock. And I was like, "Cool." So I posted it, said it was 8 o'clock. And then I emailed them and signed up to be part of it. And they were like, "Okay, well, if you want to do it, you can, but it's $25." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to pay someone to get me on stage, even if there is a chance to win money." And then, so last night I get there, and I show up alone, and I see some local comics that are signed up that did pay, and they're charging a door. $5 door. Wasn't on the flyer.
In addition to the...
Well, no, not for the comics. The comics that paid the $25,
Right.
they're already in.
Sure.
But all the people that came to see the show, they're charging $5 a door, which means that these people are charging the talent to do stage time, and then making money off that talent on the door.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a double negative in a sense where you're just totally taking advantage of these comedians and making money off of them. And one or two people might cash in the prize, but then you have all these other comedians that get nothing.
Right.
While the producers make the money. And they had a problem with the sound right off the bat. The host didn't even actually bring people up. A couple local comedians were extremely mad about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one of them found out that one of the local comedians only had to pay $20 to get in.
Ooh.
So
Discount.
Yeah, so the other ones wanted their $5 back.
Ooh, a little payola.
Yeah, and then apparently the first and second place comedians were first timers. Comedians that had never even done it
no
before.
shit.
Yeah. So,
Were they friends of the producers?
probably.
Were they funny?
Or were they the producers?
Well, they took a break at the halfway point. And so I was like, okay, what's going on? I didn't hear him say that they were going to take a break, so I was like, is that it? And I'd get up and I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're taking a break. I was like, okay. So I go get a soda, and I was like, hey, can I get one of those Sprites? 12-ounce can. She's like, sure, $2. I was like, whoa.
Oh, my God.
I was like, never mind. She goes, do you want me to buy it for you? I was like, no, it's okay. I'm just going to go somewhere else. And I just left.
Oh, you gonna stay for the rest of it?
I didn't stay.
Oh,
I was gonna ask you what the judging criteria was, how they do it.
By audience.
Was there a good turnout?
It was a good turnout, 40 plus.
Oh, that's good.
And so, the way they would do it is they were drawing 2 names at a time out of this bucket to determine who was going to go up. And it wasn't like a standard process. But then at the end of the show, I wasn't there, but at the end of the show, they get all the comedians up there and they're like, give it up if you want this comedian to win. It's like, you know, crowd reaction at the end of the show.
So it sounds like to me, basically. I mean, if you just
Bring your
brought the most
friends.
people,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
usually the way it works. About all the bands, the same thing. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it depends on the taste of the audience too. If you know, I mean, I've done stupid little contests like that too, and it's like everybody's singing all these pretty songs, and I get up there and sing Burger King or some shit like that. You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
laugh, they
yeah,
have a good
yeah,
time, but then
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
who's the best? It's like, not him. He's fucking goofy as shit. Made us laugh, had a good time, but no,
Yeah.
he's not a musician. You know? I'm okay with that.
But a couple comedians, one of them hit me up this morning or last night, was super mad about it, which rightfully so. You know, it was a shit show. But I was like, why are you surprised? I was
Yeah, that's it.
this is our first
That's the
comedy
way it works.
contest. They're not real producers.
Get
I was
used
like,
to it.
it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
And it's good experience for somebody new to not know how that kind of stuff works.
Exactly.
Go and figure it out.
My
I mean,
first
it's-
comedy
it's not gonna
competition was a
change.
shit show,
It's
and
gonna
I
be the
did everything
same.
I could to prevent it, and it was a shit show. And there was a pissed off comic.
Speaking of shit shows, how was the Family Feud on Friday? Suspended from. Randall told me it was really good. That actually I stopped in there. You guys had already taken off, and they said it was nice, good turnout.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good turnout. I think half the crowd was there for Feud, and half the crowd was just like maybe some leftover from the Roxy, the MXPX.
Well, they're getting ready to
show.
go to the MXPX.
Yeah, but then when the MXPX show started, a lot of people just stuck around.
Yeah, they were pretty receptive too.
Yeah,
Cool.
they were really receptive, and so we had 4 teams of 3, and we just got half of them from the audience to play and come up, and I think because what happened was that we got everything set up by like 6:15 and ready to go, but then at like 6:30 there was a shit ton of people in there. So I was like, Randall, we gotta start this thing up now. So we started at like 6:40 and did like a test run with these teams, and
Cool.
just went from there and went, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
So I was like thinking to myself, we gotta expose them to this before they go to the Roxy, you know.
Yeah.
So there was some people that did leave, but at least we got some exposure out there, you
Good.
know. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I went to the Roxy later because I got back from Prosser around 9, and I went there. You guys were gone, and then went to the Roxy. It was packed. It was, you know, and the beer was good actually. I was really happily surprised that
Nice.
Best Life, I think it's called.
Yeah.
MXPX released it, and when I got there, Mike was already up there playing, and Yuri was making jokes and stuff, and it was the whole place was packed pretty much. I mean, there were some seats still available, but it was
Yeah.
crowded.
There was a guy trying to give away a free ticket at the
Oh.
everybody in the dog days. I was like, where the fuck's Jack? He would take that shit.
Well, no, I got there and I just walked in, you know,
Nice.
like I know everybody, and they're like, you know, so
That's what I did last night at the comedy
So
competition.
I just walked in.
Hey!
Hey, how's it going? All right, yeah, come on in, let me get you a beer, you know.
All right.
And then I saw one of my friends, Jackie, she showed up and she's like, hey, let's go in. And we walked in, she's like looking where to, you know, give her a ticket. And I was like, oh, no, it's free. And she's like, I spent $25 for this. I was like, free to me. But no, when I got there, people were just going in and out. There was no checking of anything. I saw some people with an X on their hand, I think probably from carded for drinks or whatever. But yeah, it was good. It was a nice turnout. I'm glad to see that, you know, that downtown with the, you know, Dog Days and Roxy, and to get more condos going in there. It's cool. I really
Yeah.
like that for downtown.
Yeah, this Bremerton has definitely came up a lot since I first pulled in here in like 2009.
Damn, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've gotten to really see it, especially the last 5 years. That's when it's really...
Yeah, I was talking to some smoker outside. He was from Tacoma. He's like, wow, I didn't know Bremerton was so cool, man. This is a great place. He's like, I guess it's because Seattle's getting so expensive. All the musicians are coming over here. I'm like, no. It's been like this for a while, man.
Well, I'm surprised more people from Seattle don't just take the boat over and hang out here for a day, you know, and check all this shit out.
Well-
I know there's some touristy people, but I'm talking like friends, local comedians,
Oh.
musicians, stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, a lot of people that say they live in Seattle live in like Renton,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
or you know anybody that lives downtown Seattle, they're not going to Podunk, Bremerton. You know, they're rich and want
But
to
then
do stuff
a lot of
there.
people know about Bremerton because of the military.
Sure, but I'm just saying, if you live in Renton, you're not
Yeah.
going to drive to the ferry terminal, park your car, walk across,
Yeah.
wait for the time. You know, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, just like for us to go to Seattle for a show, it's like, man, you know, you got to weigh your cost benefit of it. You know.
You know.
shit, I missed a ferry by 10 minutes and had to wait 2 hours for the 1 o'clock, you know,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
150.
fucking
It's like, oh my god. We need to build a bridge to Bainbridge.
We need to build a bridge to Port Orchard.
Yep.
That bottleneck of Gorst is a disaster. If we ever need a mass exodus from this area, we're fucked.
Yeah, I'm on the top of the hill, so
Oh, you're fine.
I'm shooting downhill.
Get that zip line going.
So what's coming up this weekend? Or this week?
This week is Gabriel Rutledge at Bad Bulldogs Brewery, Friday, 7 p.m. That's going to be a really good show. He's really good. He's been all over the country touring. He's been
I'm
on
playing for
Fox,
that show,
Comedy
aren't I?
Central. Yeah,
I'm supposed to.
You're supposed to.
My arm's broken still. I broke my arm last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago almost now. Fucking went and got an MRI and still waiting for results. So, but I think I'll be able to do something.
Cool.
We'll see.
And that's pretty much it. We had the ladies show last Thursday. That was a lot of fun.
Saturday's the 20th, isn't it?
Friday's the 20th, I believe.
No, Friday's the 19th.
Yeah, so Saturday's the 20th, and then Heidi and Megan are playing at
20th, yeah.
the 20th at the Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
And we're seeing about maybe doing a feud with them, but it's kind of short notice. But, we might be able to swing it.
I think we could swing it.
Yeah. I think they would like the support anyways.
Yeah. I think if we just go there and set it up and have it ready to go, they'll be down.
Yeah, I agree.
So
All right, we'll plan on that.
cool. So Friday, Bad Bulldogs. Saturday, Hi-Fi.
All right.
It'll be fun.
Go Raiders. I mean, Sea
Oh,
Dogs.
fuck.
Have a biscuit.